Testing, testing. Good morning. Can you hear me? Sound all right? Okay, great. Thank you. Good morning. I'm Reverend Peter Farriday, UUCPA's interim minister for the next 2 years. My pronouns are he, him. And whatever your sexual orientation, gender identity, ethnicity, family makeup, etc., you are most welcome here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Palo Alto. May you find nourishment and inspiration for your journey. I'm gonna ask if those back doors can be closed. We're working on it. Great. Thank you, Barbara. We express our mutual respect by supporting each other's decisions about masking, distancing, and other health measures. If you'd like a mask this morning, please raise your hand and we will provide one. If you're new with us, please know that during this service, we use these cards to share any concerns or joys that are on our hearts. If you'd like to fill one out, you can find them at the entry or also now at the small table right over here. There's still time to do one as we continue with a few pre-service announcements, most of which are also listed near the top of your order of service. Among those, you'll find that next Saturday, December 6th, the UUCPA Choir Holiday Concert, which is called In Winter's Glow, Songs of Joy and Wonder, takes place at 4 p.m. right here. Led by music director Bruce Olstead, it includes two wonderful guests, soprano Melissa Sondy and baritone Michael Kuo. Plus, there'll be a carol sing-along so everyone can join in the merrymaking. A reception featuring holiday goodies from choir members will follow. Ticket donations support UUCPA, $20 in advance from your friendly choir members, or $30 at the door. Again, that is this coming Saturday at 4. The day after that at 2 p.m. is the celebration of life for UUCPA member Richard Castle. Richard was a vital part of this community for many years, and I know many of you will want to honor his passing. That's next Sunday, December 7th at 2. Also, our Undy Sunday campaign is now underway. Each year, UUCPA donates items requested by the Life Moves Opportunity Center for their unhoused clients. This is especially important this year because the center is closed due to damage from a water leak. So please check the website for a list of requested items. And next, that's our website, uucpa.org. And next Sunday and the following Sunday, bring the new donated items to church here. You can also donate financially in the donation jar that will be here, or the website provides an online option. All financial donations must be received by Sunday, December 14th. UUCPA's Action Council thanks you in advance for helping us help our unhoused neighbors. And finally, on a larger scale, in the United States, every November is now recognized as National Native American Heritage Month. As we know, that heritage is often included being the object of great injustice and oppression. Thus, as we end this month, we recognize that we gather on the unceded land of the Tamien and Ramaytush people. We acknowledge these communities in the interest of justice, truth, and heightened awareness. In order to help dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism, we pledge to join the Tamien and Ramaytush people whenever they may ask us for solidarity, knowing that land acknowledgments are only meaningful if we also act to repair the harm and to create the conditions that make collective liberation possible. Thank you for listening to these announcements. I now invite you to close or lower your eyes and center yourself in your chair. Take a couple deep breaths. Let your forehead relax. Shoulders drop. Your abdomen soften. Breathe deeply into your belly. And as mindfulness practice advises, be totally present to this moment. We gather, our different paths entwined, to deepen our spiritual lives, nourishing connection, learning from each other, caring for each other, tending to our world. As we follow the sound of the bell into silence, we allow ourselves to arrive here fully. Welcome.
Good morning. I am Jane Correia, and my pronouns are she and her. I am the worship associate today, and I too welcome you to UUCPA this morning. Each Sunday, Unitarian Universalist congregations light a chalice, the symbol of our UU faith. If you are online and you have a chalice there with you, please light it along with us. Today's words are from our gray hymnal and are by Richard M. Fucus. We lift our hearts up in thanks for the sun and the dawn, which we did not create, for the moon and the evening, which we did not make, for the food which we plant but cannot grow, for friends and loved ones we have not earned and cannot buy, for this gathered company which welcomes us as we are from wherever we have come, for all our free churches that keep us human and encourage us in our quest for beauty, truth, and love, for all things which come to us as gifts of being from sources beyond ourselves, gifts of love and life and friendship. We lift up our hearts in thanks this day. Now please rise in body or in spirit and sing hymn number 349, We Gather Together. The lyrics are on screen, in the online order of service, and in the gray hymnal, number 349.
Good morning. Today, for our story for all ages, I want to share a story from the Yalegi people, the Cherokee people. And this story is called We Are Grateful. Oyal Oyaliheliga. Olaheliga. Let's say it together. Oyaliheliga. You're welcome to join up on the chairs. We don't have our colorful quilt today, but you are welcome to sit up front. So this story comes from Tracy Sorrell, and it says, Cherokee people say Ola si heliga to express gratitude. It's a reminder to celebrate our blessings and reflect on our struggles daily, throughout the year, and across the season. Oyali heliga. Oyali heliga means we are grateful. When the cool breeze blows and the leaves fall, we say Oyali heliga. As the shell shakers dance around the fire and the burnt cedars drift upwards towards the great new moon ceremony. As we clean our houses, we wear new clothes, enjoy a feast, and forget old quarrels to welcome the Cherokee New Year. When we weave blackbrush and honeysuckle to weave baskets, to remember our ancestors who suffered hardship and loss on the Trail of Trails. and have hope as our LDC, Grandma, cradles the newest member of our family and reveals his Cherokee name. As the bears sleep deep and the snow blanks the ground, we say, Oyali Heliga, for Goya, for winter. While the elders share stories and we savor buttery bean bread and steamy hominy soup, when we feed our animal and our bird friends, and as the older ones teach the younger ones how to make corn husk dolls and play cane flutes, while we gather to remember an uncle who has passed on, as men cuddle babies and sing traditional lullabies in Yalegi, Cherokee, in Gogi, when showers fill streams and shoots spring up, we say, Olahi Heliga, we are grateful. While men sing, asking for thunder and lightning's protection on the emerging sprouts that the women tend, as we gather wild onions, spring's first food, and we serve them with hen's eggs. As we practice patience, as we sew pucker-toed moccasins and coil clay to build beautiful pots. As we plant Annie, strawberries, an ancestral story, a sweet-smelling reminder not to argue with each other. As we embrace a clan relative heading off to serve our country. In Gogi, in summer, as the crops mature and the sun scorches down, we say, Ozahi Heliga, we are grateful. When we grasp our gigs and wade into the cool creek to catch crawdads for supper, and when we sink our teeth into the season's first harvest at the green corn ceremony, when we click-clack our sticks and chase a small ball and fling it high in a stickball game pole, when we recall our ancestors' sacrifice to preserve our way of life, to celebrate Nulistritovia history, and listen to our tribal leaders speak at Cherokee National Holiday. Every day, every season, we say, Oyali Heliga, we are grateful. And I'm grateful for you. Thank you for listening to my story today. We have some activities and programming for our youngest ones, so if you would like to come hang out with me and Mr. Greg, please follow us in the lobby. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that story leads perfectly into our reading for today, which comes from the book Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. A member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation, she's also a distinguished teaching professor of environmental biology at the State University of New York's Syracuse campus, and the founder and director of the Center for Native Peoples and the Environment. I've abridged and slightly adapted this from the chapter Allegiance to Gratitude. It's a bit longer than many readings, though not nearly as long as what it describes, yet I feel it's well worth our time. Here is Robin Wall Kimmerer. Our old farm is within the ancestral homelands of the Onondaga Nation, and the reserve lies a few ridges to the west of my hilltop. There, just like kids on my side of the ridge, school buses discharge a herd of kids who run even after the bus monitors bark, walk. But in Onondaga, the flag flying outside the entrance is purple and white, depicting the Hiawatha, Wampum Belt, the symbol of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Here the school week begins and ends not with the Pledge of Allegiance, but with the Thanksgiving address, a river of words as old as the people themselves, known more accurately in the Onondaga language as the words that come before all else. This ancient order of protocol sets gratitude as the highest priority. The gratitude is directed straight to the ones who share their gifts with the world. All the classes stand together in the atrium, and one grade each week has responsibility for the oratory. Today it is the third grade's turn. Their little faces are screwed up with concentration, and they glance at their teacher for prompts when they stumble. In their own language, one older than English, they say the words they've heard nearly every day of their lives. Today we have gathered, and when we look upon the faces around us, we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now let us bring our minds together as one, as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Now our minds are one. There is a pause, and the kids murmur their assent. We are all thankful to our Mother, the Earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk about upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us, as she has from the beginning of time. To our Mother, we send thanksgiving, love, and respect. Now our minds are one. The address is sometimes mistakenly viewed as a prayer, but the children's heads are not bowed. The elders at Onondaga teach otherwise, that the address is far more than a pledge, a prayer, or a poem alone. I'm told that the Thanksgiving address is at heart an invocation of gratitude, but as it goes forward, each element of the ecosystem, including the waters, the plants, the medicine herbs, the animals, the trees, the sun, moon, and stars, is named in its turn, along with its function. It is a lesson in native science. With one mind, we honor and thank all the food plants we harvest. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and fruit have helped the people survive. Many other living things draw strength from them as well. We gather together in our minds all the plant foods and send them a greeting and thanks. Now our minds are one. The kids take note of each addition and nod in agreement, especially for food. Imagine raising children in a culture in which gratitude is the first priority. Frida Jacques works at the Onondaga Nation School, says, it reminds you every day that you have enough, more than enough. Everything needed to sustain life is already here. When we do this every day, it leads us to an outlook of contentment and respect for all of creation. You can't listen to the Thanksgiving address without feeling wealthy. And while expressing gratitude seems innocent enough, it is a revolutionary idea. In a consumer society, contentment is a radical proposition. Gratitude doesn't send you out shopping to find satisfaction. It comes as a gift rather than a commodity, subverting the foundation of the whole economy. That's good medicine for land and people alike. Living as a neighbor to the Haudenosaunee, I have heard the Thanksgiving address in many forms, spoken by many different voices, and I raise my heart to it like raising my face to the rain. It has now been translated into over 40 languages and is heard all around the world. The Thanksgiving address describes our mutual allegiance as human delegates to the democracy of species. If we want to grow good citizens, then let us teach reciprocity. If what we aspire to is justice for all, then let it be justice for all of creation. The address, with many more stanzas than the few shared here, concludes this way. We have now arrived at the place where we end our words. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. And now our minds are one.
The Thanksgiving address is inspiring, and I hear that last line echoing in my mind. Now our minds are one. The sense of community it evokes is central to my understanding of gratitude. Most nights at dinner in our home, we say grace, and one by one go around the table and share about our day. Sometimes this sharing is more formulaic, as we will play Rosebud Thorn, sharing a good or a grateful thing from the day, the worst thing from the day, and something for which we are hopeful. But most often, we just share something that was nice, something that we are glad it happened and for which we are thankful. Sometimes Ravi, my husband, and I try to push the sharing into a more directed exercise on gratitude, asking the children how the day's positive event made them feel, how it affected others, and what kind thing did they do for someone else today. Usually this is met with eye rolls, which is okay. Ravi and I hope we are planting ideas that will grow into practices. At these moments each day, I do feel grateful, sitting there with my family, sharing about our days being together. That togetherness feels so precious to me, and I recall the Thanksgiving address again, now our minds are one. However, there are so many other times throughout the day that I forget how blessed I am. When I am stuck in traffic and cursing myself for once again leaving the house much later than I was supposed to. When I am so frustrated by my children and their inability to hear my voice when I've asked them for the 13th time to please brush their teeth. And when Ravi and I argue about truly mundane matters over our house remodel. Should we buy a framed wall-mounted TV or a regular stand one? This disagreement is ongoing, while my attention really needs to be on how grateful I am for the home. As Tom Gilovich shares in his interview on Hidden Brain with Shankar Vedanta, there are enemies of gratitude. We adapt to the good things in our life and quickly forget our blessings. We focus too much on troubles and take for granted all the good things that propel us along. And when we feel alone in our burdens, we are not realizing that many, many others struggle with the same things that weigh us down. In general, Tom Gilovich notes that all these enemies of gratitude, as he calls them, share a self-centered worldview. Gratitude, he notes, comes when we have a wider, more expansive view. Shankar and Tom then explain that developing a wider view comes with giving of oneself to others. Well, I have no doubt that that is correct. For me, gratefulness comes more with appreciating the everyday and acknowledging each moment. One of the graces that we often say exemplifies this idea. The graces we recite are compiled in this book, The Grateful Table, Blessings, Prayers, and Graces for the Daily Meal by Brenda Knight. It has different writings for each day of the year. Sometimes we look up the particular day, but more often than not, we recite two that we prefer and that we say over and over again. This one is called Healthy is Happy by B.J. Gallagher. It says, "Any day I am vertical is a good day." That's what I always say. And I give thanks that I am healthy. If you ask me, how are you? I'll answer great, because in saying so, I make it so. And I give thanks that I can choose my attitude. When life gives me dark clouds and rain, I appreciate the moisture, which brings a soft curl to my hair. When life gives me sunshine, I gratefully turn my face up to feel its warmth on my cheeks. When life brings fog, I hug my sweater around me and give thanks for the cool shroud of mystery that makes the familiar seem different and intriguing. And when life brings snow, I dash outside to catch the first flakes on my tongue, relishing the icy miracle that is a snowflake. Life's events and experiences are like the weather. They come and go, no matter what my preference. So what the heck? I might as well decide to enjoy them, for indeed there is a time for every purpose under heaven. Each season brings its own unique blessings, and I give thanks. My children love this grace for the call and response with great, the gentle profanity of heck, and the recounting of the circular seasons. The second grace we say is only 2 lines. Thank you for the wind and rain and for the pleasant weather. Thank you for this, our food, and that we are together. When I reflect on gratitude, I keep returning to this sense of togetherness and the phrase, now our minds are one. When I remember how connected I am to everything in my world, gratitude flows easily. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jane. That was terrific. And as we say most weeks in terms of our recommitment and affirmation to our best selves, sometimes a sorrow weighing on our hearts is the result of our own actions or inactions. We are human, we strive and go astray. And then we can find joy in noticing these moments and with compassion for ourselves, gently leading ourselves back to how we want to be. In silent prayer or meditation, let us now recommit ourselves to this path as well as hold all we have heard with compassion and care. We now further honor all that was shared and anything in our hearts left unsaid by lifting these up in prayerful song. Please rise in body or in spirit and sing number 123, Spirit of Life. The lyrics are on screen and in the online order of service. Irish-born writer Samuel Beckett was awarded the 1969 Nobel Prize in Literature for his bleak, tragic-comic writings on the psychological and spiritual destitution of modern life, seen most famously in his play Waiting for Godot. And there's a story of Beckett walking with a friend in Paris on a gorgeous spring morning. His friend takes a deep breath of fresh air and says to him, "Doesn't a day like this make you glad to be alive?" To which Beckett replied, "I wouldn't go so far as that." In stark contrast, Henry David Thoreau once wrote, "I am grateful for what I am and what I have. Thanksgiving is perpetual. It is surprising how contented one can be with nothing definite, only a sense of existence." Like perpetual motion, Thoreau's perpetual thanksgiving may not be fully attainable. Yet if we lean into the art and practice of living with continual gratitude, we might be surprised at how much we and others benefit. A growing body of scientific studies confirms this, linking the cultivation of gratitude with better health, sounder sleep, less anxiety and depression, and greater long-term life satisfaction. Researchers Robert Emmons and Michael McCullough offer a simple but effective practice toward these ends. In a study, they had people keep a journal listing 5 things for which they felt grateful. The entries were intentionally brief, just a sentence each, and this was done only once a week. But after 2 months, compared with a control group, the people who kept the gratitude journal were more optimistic and felt happier. They also fell asleep quicker, slept longer, and awoke feeling more rested. This caused Dr. Emmons to advise, quote, "If you want to sleep more soundly, count blessings, not sheep." Once a week, 5 things you're grateful for. Simple but effective. Cultivating a grateful mindset is like any other habit. It can take little time and effort to make it a regular part of our daily lives. Yet human beings have a great power, the power to choose, both what we do and how we look at things, which I've spoken of quite a bit the last couple of talks I gave. Blogger Kelly S. Buckley offers an example of the latter, how we look at things, when she writes that a number of years ago, quote, "I made a choice that each time I was getting ready in the morning, I was going to give thanks for the stretch marks on my stomach. I've cringed about them for so long, but I decided to change the conversation. I decided to be thankful for them because they were reminders of my beautiful children and the miracle of pregnancy. I decided to reframe what I once perceived as a flaw. It is a life tattoo of a wondrous and miraculous time in my life." Obviously, that shift to gratefulness was good for her. And developing an attitude of gratitude is also good for others, because it's been shown that it often results in more frequent acts of kindness and generosity. Recall that in our reading, Frida Jacques from the Onondaga Nation School said one of the effects of the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address is that it reminds you that you have enough, more than enough. When we do this every day, it leads to an outlook of contentment. And when people adopt this outlook, they're usually eager to pay forward some of the free gifts they now realize they've received from their forebears and from the universe in what I call the great chain of blessing that long preceded each of us, because we stop taking those things for granted. Joni Mitchell expressed this when she sang, "Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? But in this state of awareness, we now know what we've got while it's still here, while we're still here." And even when a difficult life event or chronic stressors make it harder to remember life's gifts, part of healing and empowerment comes from what we bring to such experiences. For if we regularly fill our thanks tanks in advance, we can enter suffering and hardship with an awareness of and appreciation for the larger connections that have nourished our lives. Hence, we're more likely to be more resilient, more accepting, more able to ride out that tough wave, despite our understandable anxieties and grief of the moment. Here's Kelly S. Buckley again. "The world is flawed. So are we. I only wish I had the power to change that with the blink of an eye. We cannot. But we can change our piece of the world. We can change our internal conversations, and we can send out a ripple of possibility. By giving thanks each day, we cast a light into the darkness, reminding ourselves and each other that goodness is never far away." So the benefits are manifold and potent. Because by softening our ego boundaries, what Jane spoke about from one of the readings, that it's all about us, this self-centeredness, by softening that and releasing the delusion of self-sufficiency and connecting us to things far beyond ourselves in space and time, gratitude is a powerful thing. So powerful that the ancient Roman philosopher Cicero declared that gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. So powerful that many centuries later, medieval theologian and mystic Meister Eckhart said, as Donna shared, "If the only prayer you say in your entire life is thank you, that would suffice." So powerful is gratitude that, as we heard in the Onondaga language, the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving Address is known as the words that come before all else. This is why I titled this talk, The Beatitude of Gratitude, because beatitude is defined as supreme blessedness and exalted happiness. And when we do our best to practice perpetual thanksgiving, more often than not, that's what results. Among many other things, I'm grateful that our Gray UU hymnal contains expressions of gratitude akin to the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving Address. Our chalice lighting words were one instance, and another is, "We give thanks this day" by O. Eugene Pickett. So to close, I'll lead us in a slightly adapted version. There are several short stanzas. It's your choice, but if it's comfortable for you, I invite you to place your arms in this receptive posture. After I read each stanza, please respond by saying, "We give thanks this day." For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, we give thanks this day. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, we give thanks this day. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, we give thanks this day. For our common humanity, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, we give thanks this day. For our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, we give thanks this day. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, we give thanks this day. For all who labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, we give thanks this day. For human liberty and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, we give thanks this day. We give thanks this day. We pray that we may not live by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words alone, but also by our deeds. This day. Now breathe gently for a moment. Just resting in the energy of gratitude. Grateful for the simple fact that we are alive another day. And if you like, you can silently add the names of other things or people for which you're also thankful. Then bringing our hands to our hearts, we offer a bow of thanks for all of it. And now our minds are one. Namaste and blessed be. As part of Unitarian Universalism's free church tradition, this congregation is self-supporting, and thus we remain free to govern ourselves. In addition to their annual sustaining contributions each week, our members and friends may choose to give an additional gift as witness that we are and shall remain a free faith. A quick reminder that UUCPA's Justice Partner for November is the Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity, which works to make the criminal justice system more fair and the immigration system fairer and more humane. On November 16th, we donated our entire collection to them, but you can still make a donation in the office after our service if you weren't here that day. Please make checks payable to UUCPA and put Justice Partner in the memo line. We are proud to support such a valuable community organization. For regular donations today, you can use cash or check or the QR code or text info in the order of service. Thank you for giving generously. Wow. We are grateful for the gifts offered today and for all the gifts and blessings in our lives. And if you're visiting with us today, that's a gift in itself. We extend an especially warm welcome to you, and I'd be honored to meet you when we finish if you'd like to do that, because you are our special guest. And to everyone, please consider putting a few words of what UUCPA means to you or something you appreciate on a paper leaf and add it to our growing leaf collection. We had it up for the auction. I can see they've been taken down, but they will come back up. I just got blocked. I was wondering. Yes, okay, so there's our leaf collection. And please, in the lobby, there will be the leaves, and please get one and put a few words on it about what UUCPA means to you or something you appreciate, and add it to our fall collection. Thank you. Now, please rise in body or in spirit and sing number 1058 in our teal hymnal, Be Ours a Religion. The lyrics are on screen in the online order of service. We will sing it twice through.
As always, thanks to everyone involved in making today's service possible, including our worship tech team and guest musicians, Steve Channon and UUCPA's own Arhan Dutta. Our chalice extinguishing words come from Elizabeth Sell Jones. Please say them together. They should be on screen. Oh, they're in the order of service? Perfect. Okay, they're in the order of service as well. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Wow, Arhan, that was terrific. Thank you so much for being here today, and Steve Channon as well. If you're online, please mute yourself, turn on your video, and join hands virtually. If you're here in the service, please stand and hold hands with your neighbors if you're comfortable with that. If you're not, cross your hands over your heart to show that you're connected with in spirit as we say our benediction together. Go out into the world in peace.